Maybe some people have caught me on live stream, but don't tell Jackson that because they'll get really mad. So that's our little secret. Hey, what's up? This is Misha from Periphery, and I'm here with my new refreshed Juggernaut Pro Series. So this refresh came about because every few years we want to see what we can do. And I gotta say, over at the factory, they are upping their game. I love super strats. I always kind of envisioned something like this, like having a nice super strat, love having an arch top. I think especially when you've got either cool paint jobs or a figured top, it really adds a lot of complexity to it. It can make it really pop, and they're comfortable too. As far as like the design, it was really designed around ergonomics. So there's a lot of little things that even to this day, maybe I take for granted now because I've had my signature model for so long, and I have to play other guitars to realize like, oh, these are things that we designed. For example, the heel being so accessible, this lower horn cutout having so much space for your hand, so that really I need to have a bolt-on construction. It just sounds correct. All my favorite guitars are always bolt-on, so having just as much upper fret access and feeling unhindered up there is such an important thing for me. I think it's a sign that we did sort of nail it at the outset as far as a general design. But let's not forget, it took about 3 years to nail down. So there's a lot of little stuff and a lot of road testing as well. Like these guitars travel around the world and they need to be road ready. That had to be the case. And it had to be that I could grab one off the wall in the guitar store and that it could tour around the world with me. And that is exactly what has happened. So when I got the first model, the production sample of this, actually the first one I saw and I opened was this red one. I love paint jobs on cars. I love car paint. So this is very inspired by a very famous red that I love dearly. It's just striking in person. And there's a lot of contrast. Beautiful. It looks almost liquid, right? We're talking about a guitar that's got a 20-inch radius fretboard, which is a wonderful thing to have. And then we've got stainless steel frets. We've got locking tuners. We've got the truss rod adjustment here, and that's great. If you're just starting out and you're like, oh, how do I adjust the truss rod? Well, this is the easiest guitar to do it on. Hey, you're gonna play your show, you're gonna play for the first time, you got lumen lay side dots, so now you're lit up. And then you're gonna be like, wait, not every guitar has that? No, but yours does, so that's great. Then you've got a 5-way switcher here with these Jackson MM1 pickups, which are phenomenal. Versatility is something that I have to go for because with my band Periphery, we want all the sounds. So, you obviously got your humbucking positions in 1 and 5 here, which is bridge and neck. Got your middle, which I never use admittedly, but it's there. And 2 and 4, which I abuse all the time because this is split inner coils on 2 and split outer coils. So you get your sort of stratty tones out of that, and you if you want your mid-gain split coil tones, which are really popular right now, it's super easy to get that. And then kind of a little touch, this goes back to the very first guitar. I kind of didn't want to do a tone knob because I wasn't using it a whole lot, and I personally love the sound of just a volume like wired directly. I almost wouldn't even want a volume, but you got to have a volume. But I just want to be as direct to the bridge pickup as possible. So this is actually out of the circuit. You have to lift it up for it to be in, and then it works as a traditional tone knob. And I actually do use the tone knob live, so I'm glad that I've got it for those parts, but most of the time it's out of the way. can't accidentally roll it. It'll never be in the way. It's a no-nonsense guitar that looks good, sounds good, and plays good. The Evertune is something I've been using in the studio now for probably about like 10 years at this point. It became such a staple in the studio, like I always would have an Evertune guitar in the studio, to where I was like, it makes a lot of sense to have it on one of my signature guitars. And then with all the weird tunings that we use, and we use some weird tunings, and some were like, we're normally in drop C, C, G, C, F, A, D. This low string is down to a G, and that sort of tuning stability I was talking about was almost impossible to get. We can't sound correct unless all three guitarists in Periphery, are playing a guitar with an Evertune. So it's an essential part of the live set. It's an essential part of the studio. So of course it makes sense that we have to have it as an option. I know it's a bit of a strange bridge. It could be a little bit daunting. Once you understand how it works, it's fairly simple. And I think if a lot more people were exposed to how it works and try it in recording settings or live settings, you'd probably be like, wow, I can't even imagine what I did before this. What keeps me coming back to this design is just the ergonomics. I mean, the look as well. I think this is a bit of a crowd pleaser. Like, I appreciate other body shapes. I always thought it'd be cool to rock a V or an Explorer or something like that. But I personally don't look great with them. I think you kind of have to be taller than I am to pull those off. No one's ever mad at a Super Strat. Like, it always sort of is the right look for the part. It's always comfortable. There's some guitars that you can really only play standing up with a strap, or that maybe sit a little bit too offset when you're sitting down with them. Like, this is really based around that sort of midpoint of ergonomics and looks. So it's just a comfortable guitar. It's just kind of the one that, the test is if you have a bunch of guitars in the rack, like, what do you just instinctively reach for? And it just tends to be one of these juggernauts usually. So when you have an instrument that is not in your way, it allows you to sort of focus on playing and having fun. If any of you have ever played live and played a guitar that wasn't maybe set up right, or that just wasn't quite working, there's a part of your thinking that's just going to compensating for that. So this is where having an instrument that sort of fits like a glove is always putting you at an advantage, because it allows you to just be in the moment and focus on the show or studio session or whatever it is you're doing, and you can put 100% of your energy to the project at hand. I'm told this is the end of the video, and I'm to leave you with some words of wisdom. I'm not a very wise man, but I can speak from experience and say that you should do music because it's fun. You're probably doing music because it's fun. And if you're lucky, it may turn into something that's more than fun. It can turn into a job, or maybe even be your career, and that's great. And sometimes you can get sucked into it. I know I did. And it can sometimes ruin the fun, because you realize you started playing guitar just because it was awesome. And I feel like you should always remember that. That should always be at the core of everything that you're doing musically. Do it because it's fun. With the state of the industry and everything, who knows what the future holds for music. But as long as you're having fun, it kind of doesn't matter. So play some guitar and enjoy it.